Turns out Uncle Howdy is real. Duh. I've been following him on Twitter for months now. The good old Uncle Howdy.
Had my cousins and other relatives, cause Uncle Howdy is thirsty. And I always used to say, it's always better with someone you know than a complete stranger.
Uncle Howdy always with his knowledge. So after this tweet, my expectations for SmackDown were a bit too high. When you see that type of crap, you're always like, CM Punk? Yes, I'm a mark. I'm a mark. Deep down inside, I'm a mark. But you know, this episode was still great. I feel good that Sami Zayn didn't get kicked out. I'm happy to see John Cena. That Intercontinental Championship match was unbelievable. And this was kinda funny. Well, I did hear that he got injured, so now I feel bad, but I laughed my ass off. All that and so much more in a second. This video is sponsored by Wrestling GM. Solo game dev challenges billion-dollar corporation AEW and comes out on top. And this David vs. Goliath story was only possible through a passionate and loyal fan base. As a result, Wrestling GM takes the crown for the best Wrestling GM simulator on mobile. And you guys know, if you want a general manager game with no limitations, Wrestling GM is the way to go. It gives you all the tools you need in general manager. Pick a promotion, manage your roster, championships, upgrade your product, build teams, factions, rivalries, check your show's history, sign free agents, and so much more. And of course, you gotta make sure to book the best show possible. As you guys know, I've already played Wrestling GM on my channel. I had a lot of fun. If you wanna check the series out, the link is in the description below. Wrestling GM is available on both iOS and Android devices. Download the game by using the link in the description.
Sounds easy, I'm the best booker in the world.
Oh yeah? Prove it, Mark. Download the game. Welcome back to another episode of Greatness of SmackDown. What a show that was. Yes, my expectations were a bit too high, but if we just ignore that shit, still a great episode. I guess the biggest negative is John Cena didn't actually show up. That's not the problem, though. The sound effect. When he said shit, they did whee, whee, woohoo.
Kids, hi, it's PG, right?
Oh my god. Like, blur the face or whatever you want to do. Don't ever put a mini cartoonish John Cena on his mouth. Oh my god. Before the show, we see the Bloodline arriving to SmackDown and Sami Zayn is looking nice. The beard is looking good, and give it like 5 months, it will be almost as big as mine. Yeah, I still regret shaving. I still think about it. I shouldn't have. My man is looking good, and I was really worried about this. I was like, they're gonna shave his head, and they're gonna bring back the ultimate underdog, and he's going to be exactly like 59, 60, and he's going to be like 90% of the roster. Sammy, keep being crazy. And the show kicked off with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match, Damage Control versus Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox. I made a joke in one of my recent videos that Ronda Rousey changed up her look because, well, Ronda looks like Tegan Nox. That's the joke. Not really funny, but that's the way I am. Obviously a joke, right? Like, I couldn't be that stupid. I'm not smart. Couldn't be that stupid. And I got like at least 5 comments saying, Thegreatone, actually, that's... You dumbass. You stupid idiot. That's not Ronda. So this was a nice match, and I appreciate this being on the show because the show already felt really big. You know, we got the Intercontinental Championship, we got this potential reveal, so you know, it just made that show even better. Tegan Nox and Bayley start fighting in ringside, and someone kicked Tegan Nox in the face. Thankfully though, we have Twitter detectives. You know, whenever we get these Bray Wyatt clues, you know, who is it? Who's the rabbit? And Twitter always find out. Well, detectives did it again. Mark actually was the leader, you know, he actually investigated, and they found out who it is with logic. With logic right here. They found out who it is. They found out it's probably Xia Li by looking at her butt cheeks. Huh. I can see that. Yes. Yes. The butt cheeks match. The butt cheeks match right here. It's the same person. I've been fapping. Like legit, I'm not even kidding right here. They found out who it is by looking at her cheeks. And that's of course how they retain the Women's Tag Team Championships. Now we don't actually know whether that's actually Xia Li, but I do trust my sources. My sources are marks who be fapping. They be fapping, my dude. They be fapping. So they can, you know, they know a butt cheek when they see one. They know a butt cheek when they see one. They're like, I've seen this one. I've seen this one. I can tell. So I trust my sources. We see the Bloodline backstage, you know, Sami Zayn is looking sharp, and he says, "How do I look? You look fantastic, Sami." No, how do I look? You look great. Okay, I trust you. They talked about Roman arriving to SmackDown, and this whole big deal is all about Roman Reigns finally, you know, promoting Sami Zayn to the actual Uso. Even though I feel like he's already family, there's not that much to do, but maybe renaming him Sami Uso. But even the Bloodline don't know how to feel because of this Kevin Owens situation. They're saying maybe we hyped it up too much. But I do love the fact that they're showing so much appreciation to Sami Uso. You know, even Jey Uso was like, this is family. And they're actually worried about Sami. You know, they're worried that he will get disappointed. Then we see LA Knight, and he accuses Bray Wyatt of dressing up as these puppets, and it was always Bray Wyatt. Uncle Howdy doesn't exist.
I didn't attack you, I didn't mean to hurt you. I was here to tickle you, cause like I've said, I got a DNA test and you're my cousin.
Uncle Howdy is not a bad person, he just doesn't know the boundaries, he doesn't understand them. We see Bray Wyatt and he says, "I have nothing to do with this. You're barking at the wrong tree right here." And we all know how that story ends. But LA Knight just straight up attacks Bray Wyatt, and it almost seemed like Bray Wyatt is actually doing nothing right here because you know, he doesn't want the blame. He has nothing to do with this. He's a good person. But then we see Uncle Howdy in the arena. He's a completely different person. We see Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy at the same time. It's someone else, people.
It's time for tickling, LA Knight.
Oh my god. Is it Bo Dallas? I really hope so because I always felt like it's a missed opportunity not to use Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas as brothers in storyline, but in this case it would be his uncle. I don't know about that, we'll see. Who else could it be? Someone from NXT maybe? Like, there are many possibilities, someone returning or whatever. But, I mean, at the end of the day, didn't we see Bray Wyatt and The Fiend at the same time? Kinda. You know, not necessarily at the same time in the arena, but it was portrayed as if they're, you know, in this world at the same time or whatever. So I don't want to get my hopes up, but I do hope that they are different people because this way it's a lot more interesting than just Bray Wyatt being like, one day I'm Uncle Howdy, then I'm The Fiend, and then I'm Bray Wyatt, and I'm talking about all the butterflies in the forest. Now I'm a furry. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of that. Hopefully there are different people and we get this faction. I think that could be interesting. I did say that, you know, the story, this whole character development is a bit slow, a bit too slow for me, but the payoffs are worth it. Like, this was really interesting right here. Then we saw Ricochet versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. You know, whenever I see Gunther and Ricochet in the ring, it's always the same story. Possibly match of the year because it really is. Two of the GOATs, man. Two of the GOATs right now of pro wrestling right here. This was a pay-per-view level match. You may say it's unrealistic, but at the end of the day, you know, Gunther is strong, big, tall, whatever, and Ricochet does have his, you know, advantages. He's very fast, he's very flippy, if that makes any sense, so he's faster, and he, you know, keeps reversing Gunther's shit. And this whole match was really well written, booked, whatever you wanna call it. It did feel like a pay-per-view level match, and this whole build, this tournament was worth it in my opinion. Unfortunately, this was not in the main event, and my favorite spot of the match was Ricochet being like, and then Gunther responded, and my man flipped, you know, like a fly. Eventually, Gunther picked up the W right here with his terrible finisher, and yeah.
I helped you! Now we play with trains! I don't have many friends backstage, Ricochet!
Look, I don't hate the finisher. Well, I do actually. I don't hate the move. I feel like he has so many better moves, like the clothesline, that should be his finisher, or the power bomb. This, it doesn't fit him in my opinion. But yes, Gunther retained the championship, which makes sense. I'm not mad. Next week you're going to get a tag team match between Gunther and Imperium, and I believe Ricochet and Braun Strowman. It was worth it. You know, we all knew Ricochet is not going to win, but it really elevated both Gunther and Ricochet in my opinion, especially Ricochet. Even by losing, my man looks a lot more legit right now. Even Roman doesn't really know what to do right here, so he asks for Adam Pearce, and you know, Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns set up a match. match on December 30th, Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens and anyone. And Adam Pearce makes this match official. There's a big reason why Roman Reigns wants to do this match. He wants to test Sami Zayn's loyalty. Not only will they tag together for the first time in a tag team match, 2-on-2, but also he's going to face Kevin Owens. So Roman Reigns wants to test Sami Zayn and, check out how, loyal he is, how faithful he is to the tribal chief. Then we saw a triple threat tag team match to determine the number 1 contenders, and this was a fun match, whatever, you get the idea, but nothing will be remembered because of the botch, which looked hilarious. Even Michael Cole poked fun, saying that, well, that's why he doesn't do it that often. But I do feel sorry for the guy, because then you can tell he got injured, and also just by looking at his face, he's like, yeah, I effed up. And hopefully WWE are in a better place now where, just by botching you don't get punished or whatever, because I feel like that used to be a thing back in the day. But yeah, that's funny, especially just by looking at it in different angles. I've seen videos on Twitter. Yeah, and I believe that championship match is not happening now because, well, he got injured. Raquel wants Ronda Rousey, and that's exactly what she got. And next week, we are getting a gauntlet match. So lazy, man. You can tell that SmackDown's women's division has no star power because they always keep just putting everyone, and we'll see what happens. We don't have legitimate number 1 contenders matches. That's really a shame. That's lazy booking right here. I will say one positive is gauntlet matches do get people over, so hopefully that's gonna be the case. And then it's time for the Bloodline. Tonight was going to be a good night for Sami Zayn, but we have a problem. Kevin Owens. Owens has been stalking Zayn, but I have a solution. A tag team match with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn says it's going to be an honor to tag with you, and I don't understand why Kevin Owens is acting this way. I am his only friend. Correction, I was his only friend. But it's gonna be an honor to team with you, Roman. But then we see John Cena, and he says, well, I talked to Kevin Owens. I got a surprise text, and he told me that I didn't wrestle this year. So my, record is going to be broken because I wrestle at least once every year. So he asked me to be his tag team partner, and I feel like that's a great idea. And then he talked about emojis. Apparently, he got a peach emoji. Owens was like, I want to tag with you, and I want some ass. Cena Claus is coming. Ho, ho, holy wait. Yes, I still can't believe they did this. This was insulting. It's insulting my intelligence. So yes, John Cena is back. Hopefully he's going to be at the Royal Rumble. Hopefully that's not going to be the last of John Cena we're seeing right here. We are going to see Roman Reigns and John Cena in the same ring on SmackDown. That's pretty wild. That's awesome. Can't wait. It's also interesting what's gonna happen between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Is Sami Zayn going to F up? Or he's actually going to, beat the living crap out of Kevin Owens with no remorse. That way, earning his second name, Uso. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But finally, I'm getting that excitement again. Man, I've been feeling pretty bad about wrestling. And again, I'm excited about it. That's great. That's awesome. It feels like Triple H kind of got too comfortable and now he's like, it's time to put in the work. And I appreciate that. We'll see what happens. The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.